If you haven't figured out that you're holding yourself back, man, you got an epiphany waiting. There's an epiphany on the horizon because at some point, your reflection should let you know, I've been going about this the wrong way. Now, here's the thing. This is a quote from Christina Yang. Knowing your problem and changing your problem are two different things. Hey, everybody, we're going to talk how to die alone. Y'all believe this? All right, so jam-packed show. Natasha. We love Natasha. We've been waiting. We love her. At some point, I heard that she auditioned for SNL and didn't get in, and that made no sense to me. But I know I say this a lot because I always like people with strong facial expressions. I mean, I don't like overacting, but I think when you are able to portray a message on your face without any words, I think that that's a really cool thing. And as long as it's connected, like you need to have it connected. It needs to be authentic, but I think Natasha gives some of the best, man. She gives the best. And I just think she's just a naturally goofy, funny kind of person. So I was very excited for her to get her shot, but also to see what she does. Because I know she's a good writer, but to actually experience it is like a blessing for all of us. Anyway, this is a writer's writer show. How to Die Alone. It's about Mel. She has a fear of flying. She works in the airport. She works for her ex, who she still loves, who announces that he's getting married. She has a bestie. He hooks up with Bi-Coastal Bay, who everybody is kind of drooling over. So he's not around during her birthday. So she just spends her birthday alone. And she decides she's going to go shopping expensively and get herself some expensive furniture because, you know, like, it's her birthday, she's going deep. She ends up choking on the expensive crispy wonton. So everybody's talking about what it was as she is coming to from the furniture falling on her. She also has rats, I left that out. To the point where she's having conversations with them, giving it a name. Yeah, so she's like, that's your half of the house. Anyway, so this thing collides on her. I watched it like 3 times because it was like hilarious. You just see like the little, so she's in the hospital. The surgeons are around. She's like in a scene from Grey's Anatomy. People are studying her. The surgeons are like all talking about what happened to the main doctor. There's one black, I don't know if she's a nurse. I think she's a nurse. One black nurse to the side. She's giving all the looks that you'd expect Kelly to be given from Insecure. A look for everything, for every kind of motion, this, that, and the other. And, you know, she died alone, just like the title. Dying alone because she did die. Now she's just worried about like medical, what she missed. It's still her birthday. And the nurse is coming at her. First off, the nurse does one of the quickest code switches I've seen. But she's still not on her side. She's doing her, and a lot of times you might think that you might get that from somebody, and I've been in that scenario many a times where they let you know that they just got this work face. But she code switched. Mel told her where to go. That's when she finds out that Elise is next to her. Elise says she fell, and that at her age means she's gonna die. Now, obviously, I'm not thinking that she's gonna die from the fall until she says that's a death sentence. I was like, oh, you about to die, like literally about to die alone. And I'm glad that she had this moment because on her birthday, she had somebody who was telling her, who had been there, who had embraced the crazy and the wild times and had come back better on the other side, even though she still was alone. I thought it was like a really good moment for her. And for it to be in the pilot, it's probably super important. But yeah, so she has this bond with her. She talks to her. She tells her she was afraid to fly. She says that she was, but she still traveled the world. And it goes silent. she's processing how she probably passed. And the nurses are talking about, you call the coroner because I got somewhere else I need to be. So it's like she died alone without even somebody really giving the respect or care about the presence of her dying alone. And Mel's taking this in. She goes over and just in shock throws up. That's the one thing I'm gonna say, Mel. You probably should clean that up. That was even, I don't know, maybe it would have been weird. I don't know. With the dead person, it probably would have been weird. I don't know. But she did throw up. I don't know if you probably should. I don't know. Okay, so hospital is like, it's policy for someone to pick you up. You need to figure out who's going to pick you up. So she tries everyone. She doesn't have anyone. So she calls her brother. Her brother is spitting game on a date, so he keeps putting her on miss. And finally, I guess he comes to pick her up. They have one of the most well-written sibling back and forths, because that's how it would be. Sometimes, not all the time, but I was like, oh, that's a real sibling go at it. And you could really see that they have a lot of history. So I thought that the two of them had such great chemistry. So I'm excited to see more of that, and their parents, because they need to have wild parents. Sorry, I do that with my hands sometimes. Next. Okay, so she goes to this bar, and she's talking to this bartender, but this bartender is just doing her job. And she notices that she has Elisa's stuff. And she was like, I could ask a follow-up question, but I'm not. And she's just talking to space. She's just like, I mean, she's dead. So then the bartender kind of turns around. She's like, okay, I'll bite. And, but like, she literally wasn't even paying attention to her. This is her birthday. She just got an invite to her boss, who is her boyfriend, who she still likes, wedding. And it was a massive pop-up invite in Hawaii, no less. And she doesn't fly, but she works at an airport, so she's afraid to fly. It's her birthday. She spent extra money on this food and extra money on this furniture, which both betrayed her all in one day. And she has put on this face of trying to keep it together for so long that it all happening in one day just isn't right. We want to see this character win, and quick. And this monologue is so well done because it is so core to the theme of not wanting to die alone. She's trying to not die alone. She sees the problem, how to die alone. She sees it, but she wants to get away from it. And if you haven't figured out that you're holding yourself back, man, you got an epiphany waiting. There's an epiphany on the horizon, because at some point, your reflection should let you know, I've been going about this the wrong way. Now, here's the thing. This is a quote from Christina Yang. Knowing your problem and changing your problem are two different things. So many people choose to pretend like it didn't happen. But she is really embracing all of it, like all of it. She wants to do something different. She wants a different life, which leads her to do some crazy things. The bartender is cheering her up. She's like, clearly going to be a series regular. She gives her number. She's like, do you have a safe place to go? She goes to Elisa's house because she's got Elisa's stuff. And she cleans up Elisa's house. I think out of respect, I guess. It may have been for her because she ended up staying there, but I think there was some respect to that. She's trying new things, and in this new light, literally, she decides she's going to book this trip to Hawaii. That's going to be her first trip to fly, signaling her feelings for this dude. But her card doesn't work, so she puts in Elisa's card. And they got Trick Daddy in the background. Girl, that's a federal crime. But the soundtrack was on fire. So she meets up with T, who is a light-skinned brother. They doubled down on that by him saying, nigga, I wasn't really sure, but I just know Natasha wouldn't do that. Like she wouldn't just do it. But what she might have done is later on he'd be like a Rachel Dolezal or something like that. But for the purposes of this, I know once, yeah, and they let him say, yeah, he's a brother. I don't know if he's albino or what. Maybe I missed that, but said it. We know it. Good guy. He is the opposing love interest. I wouldn't expect anything less from Natasha. Show was awesome. It was great. Everybody's coming back for episode 2 because they all dropped that emotion she brought. There's more of that. There's more of that. There's more of the good stuff. And there's more of the funny. But that relatable loneliness, like there's an epidemic of loneliness. And this is not my opinion. It's been studied. There's like research that says this is one of the loneliest times.